lot of participation from the guests on the panels being held. And I think that the general view of people is that it is very informative and very fit for the agenda that has been drawn here.
Hobby vision these tech companies shaping the future of, globally as well as in India specifically when we talk about cloud technologies and data security.
Every year, every quarter, you see some new technologies being added to all of these things. This coupled with data is the new oil is just making the entire data center space go berserk right now. Right? It is imperative to have a transformation story for every enterprise. Every enterprise's journey is different, and I think it's not a one-size-fits-all anymore.
Hello and welcome to the second edition of Emerge Tech, the multi-city roadshow being held in Hyderabad, brought to you by the Mainstream. I am Simran Shiwalkar, your host for today, and I have with me Mr. Prakash. He is a partner at Email. Prakash, thank you once again for joining us today and sharing this screen with me.
No worry. Thank you so much for having me in.
Thank you so much once again. And that being said, Prakash, we are back with the second edition of Emerge Tech. If you could summarize your overall experience at this event in Hyderabad and tell our audience a bit about it.
Sure. So again, thank you so much for having me here. I think it's a diverse mix of clients across industries, and what I've seen the last few hours that I've been here, I've seen a lot of participation from the guests on the panels being held, and I think that the general view of people is that it is very informative and very fit for the agenda that has been drawn here.
Like you was here of providing me insights, Prakash, and because you also moderated a panel on cloud technology specifically, and today's in being another technology, how we vision these tech companies shaping the future of, globally as well as in India specifically when we talk about cloud technologies and data security.
I think like I said, it is still emerging. If I admit that while it has been here for quite some years, the speed at which it is changing is drastic, right? And every year, every quarter, you see some new technologies being added to all of these things. This coupled with data is the new oil is just making the entire data center space go berserk right now, right? You see the who's who of India jumping into the data center space. You have the Adanis of the world, the Ambanis of the world. Jio is coming up with so many data centers. Adani is coming up with so many data centers, right? And across, you're seeing a lot of growth across the existing players as well as all the players who have been here who want to get into this space. So I think we'll see a drastic shift in some time. Naturally, the incoming DPDP rules, the data localization that we are seeing across the world and more so now, which is in draft stage in India, is only adding to the fire that's on in the data center and cloud space. And I think cloud today is far more evolved than it was a few years back. You see a lot of mainstream industries becoming a part of it. You see banks becoming part of it, which wasn't the case a few years back, where there was a general perception that cloud is insane, right? So I think, yeah, it has come a long way, but it still has a long way to go.
Absolutely, and because you also emphasized on cloud, being in the evolved landscape and data being the new oil, because it's painted so by a lot of organizations across verticals. But do you still think there could be a common challenge or common miss that you could post that organizations are still hesitant about moving in cloud because you can't use consulting experience? If you could throw some light on that.
Perfect. So I think what is important for enterprises to understand that while a lot of new development that's happening is coming out to be cloud native, so life is a little easier there. There is a general tendency that whatever we have as of now cannot be moved to cloud, right? That again is a myth. It's a myth that cloud is not secure. It's a myth that if you only want scalability, then cloud is the only answer, right? That also is a myth, which is the other part of the coin. Because my session that I'm moderating is about cloud as well as data centers, both, right? So I would suggest that it is imperative to have a transformation story for every enterprise. Every enterprise's journey is different, and I think it's not a one-size-fits-all anymore. it is about hyper personalization, be it cloud or be it security. And cloud has come a long way in securing it as it does, in securing a lot of the workloads that come to it, right? Which is where, like I answered in the last question, you have banks embracing cloud big time, right? You have a lot of OEMs who are becoming cloud first only. They do not want to have offerings which are non-cloud anymore. And this is only going to increase in the coming time. And I think a lot of which that I just mentioned will get busted as time moves on.
Absolutely. And do you think, or would it rather be safer to consume, because AI is taking the center stage now, and as this technology is evolving, there will also be some traction to cloud, both weighing in more towards the limit, right?
Oh, absolutely. AI, ML, these technologies have data as their primary source, right? Naturally, like we just discussed a while back, data being the new oil, all of data has to land somewhere, right? That's where cloud comes into picture, because you have to store that tremendous amount of data at a lot of places, and you want to have more and more applications actually reaching out and talking to this data. So which is where you see a lot of people wanting to migrate data with their reimagining their data lakes and the data that they have from an enterprise-wide perspective. They are looking at cloud, right? And that also not only a single cloud, they don't want to put all the eggs in the same basket. So it's a multi-cloud setup that they're looking at, which makes it even more interesting when you're at the other side of the table, like me, consulting companies, helping them get into the data analytics and digital transformation era.
Fantastic. And lastly, Prakash, today's theme being future-ready leadership, innovating with emerging technologies. The whole idea or the whole focus is on emerging technologies like cloud, content, cybersecurity, and of course sustainability being at the core of it. How do you see these conferences like Emerge Tech shaping up, a platform for discussion, perhaps discussing the challenges and exploring the opportunities?
I think what is important here is that a lot of conversation while happens in the room with respect to the events that are happening inside the tracks that are being set. There's a parallel like outside the room where the networking happens, where you have vendors talking to enterprises, OEMs talking to enterprises, and vice versa, right? Because it's eventually one person's journey cannot be extrapolated as is to another person's journey, but it surely can have a lot of things that can be common between them, right? And that's where you learn from experiences of others. And I think a lot of conversations that even during the tea break, just some time back that happened, there were varied set of conversations that were happening that I also did with a lot of my co-panelists as well as the other esteemed folks who are here.
Absolutely. And Prakash, thank you so much for sharing these exciting words and joining us today. While we conclude this session, I definitely look forward to the next example.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.